But Mark, let's move on into our last topic before we look at the wild card games for this week. And we're talking NFL draft, mainly because not only did Bruce Arians retire, very heartfelt kind of talk from Bruce Arians, tearing up a little bit. I know I did watching it. But today they lose their quarterback. Carson Palmer decides enough is enough. I can't get injured anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm done. So what we were talking about today is a quarterback just recently played a game yesterday in the Rose Bowl that the Cardinals could possibly trade up for. Right now, the Cardinals, the 15th, and I shouldn't say right now, they will be the 15th pick in the NFL draft. And basically, my big question for you is, should the Cardinals trade up for Baker Mayfield?
And we're doing this because you can check out our mock draft, and you know that we have two quarterbacks going number one, number two.
Yeah.
We can put that out there.
Mm-hmm.
Other teams that might need one, the Broncos.
Who I had, last mock draft, I had the Broncos go with Baker Mayfield.
The Jets most likely need quarterback as well. Then you're pretty safe for a little while until the Bengals, unfortunately, were my dream scenario. It's not going to happen. It was completely banking on the fact that I thought they'd have a new coach. Marvin Lewis is back for 2 more years somehow.
The Redskins.
Redskins could, because Kirk Cousins is most likely gone.
Yep.
But the problem with the Redskins one is if Kirk Cousins leaves, he's probably going to a Denver or a New York Jets. So it'll even out.
Yeah.
There's still going to basically be 2 teams in front of them that need quarterbacks.
But that's all that, like, that's the thing is 2 is bad because there's Josh Allen, there's Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Like, behind Rosen and Darnold, there's 2 quarterbacks. So if 2 teams need quarterbacks, you're still SOL.
And I don't think in the bowl games, nobody hurt their draft stock. Even players that didn't play, I don't think anybody really hurt their draft stock.
The only one that people want to say hurt his draft stock was Sam Darnold. But I still don't think, like, that just showed how the weaknesses of USC.
Yeah.
It didn't show anything bad about Sam Darnold.
Yeah, he didn't go out and lose a game.
No.
The team itself
his
was
offensive
bad.
line was horrible in that game.
And that's the kind of things that scouts are going to look at and say,
oh, I'm watching Jay Cutler.
well,
That's basically what I would say.
Unfortunately,
Hey, it kind of looks like Jay.
and like, well, if you draft him, he'll play like 5, 6, 7 games a season.
Yeah.
But anyways, so you're in a rough spot here for that. We're assuming that Kirk Cousins doesn't go to Arizona in this one, even though I think that would probably be my second choice if I'm Kirk Cousins of places to go.
Okay.
Number one, of course, being Denver.
Also depends on what happens with Larry Fitzgerald.
He'll be around forever.
Now that Carson Palmer wrapped it up, is he going to wrap it up, or is he going to say, fuck it, I'm coming back for another
He'll
year?
be back for another 10.
Okay. For another 10. Yeah, he's got to break.
He's not going anywhere.
What is it, Jerry Rice? He's got to break Jerry Rice's all-time record.
Why not? But I don't think that they should trade up to like Cleveland's 4 or something like that. That is way too high. I'm doing that only to put them ahead of Denver and New York. So that's the hard thing. I don't think they can. I don't think that the Arizona Cardinals can trade up to get their quarterback because one of these guys is going to be gone for sure. We're talking about Josh Allen. We're talking about Baker Mayfield. One of them will be drafted at 5 or 6, most likely. And maybe the other one's not. But then does a team like the Jets or the Broncos try and trade back to not super far, but maybe trade back because maybe San Francisco, who's got a lot of capital, maybe they trade up because there's a guy they want, and they can trade back to 10 where they can still probably comfortably get a guy they will like. You have some things to worry about because back in 15, you're kind of in this no man's land as far as, you're too far away to where trading up is difficult to the top where you'll need to go to get one of these guys.
Well, the thing that I look at is I'm kind of almost in the same boat as you. The thing that I differ about is the fact that, looking at it is the Jets are a question team for me. Only because it comes down to, are they really going to get rid of all of their quarterbacks? Because, Christian Hackenberg.
They don't have to get rid of them. They just need someone better.
By get rid of, we're going to draft the new guy. I don't think the Jets go quarterback in the first round.
They don't have the quarterback on the roster now. I think it'd be a very Browns move not to.
I don't think they do, and that's just a feeling I have right now. Could change, but right now, I don't think so. If that stays true and the Jets don't take a quarterback, then I think that the Cardinals could trade up. Maybe, I wanted to almost say not a Baker Mayfield, but I'm going to say for a Baker Mayfield, only because with Denver, the question then becomes, are they going to go Baker Mayfield or are they going to go Josh Allen? Because John Elway was at the Idaho Potato Bowl to watch Josh Allen, and I tweeted it out as soon as I heard that Josh Allen should get ready to wear a Bronco jersey, because if John Elway goes to your game, he's going to draft you.
Well, we don't know that for sure.
John Elway don't go to games just to go to games.
I mean, it could
especially with the cold
really
Idaho.
Just be the fact that scouts really like him, and he's like, I don't know what you guys see. I guess I'll go to a game and I'll find out. Who knows? I don't want to put too much stock in that, because people go to a lot of different games for sure, and I don't know, but I don't know which one of these guys is really going to go first. I think Baker Mayfield is more of the clear choice of he should be quarterback number 3 as opposed to Josh Allen.
You mean first after Rosen and Donald?
Yeah.
Okay.
But who goes first between Josh Allen and Baker Mayfield? I only had one player go in between these two quarterbacks before. Now, I feel like Baker Mayfield is a player that some GMs will probably want to avoid, where Josh Allen is the guy where if he goes early, I think somebody has to fall in love with him. And maybe it is John Elway. Maybe John Elway fell in love with him and they really want him. They think he's a good quarterback, a smart quarterback. He's going to be a guy we can use.
And the thing that's interesting is Josh Allen, I know that they played Central Michigan in that bowl game, but that Idaho Potato Bowl, and I know that people are like, oh, it doesn't come down to one game, but when you're there watching someone and they throw for 3 touchdowns and their team wins, that's something that goes, all right. Like, I thought Josh Allen had if you watched his bowl game, had a completely different bowl game than the rest of his season.
Yeah.
And it showed that, okay, there is potential there for him. And John Elway, to me, has always been that guy that has gone with potential. I mean, look at Paxton Lynch.
Yeah.
Paxton Lynch was a potential, but, you look at the guys that he's drafted in each draft since 2015. Trevor Siemian, who was a 7th rounder, who wouldn't have been drafted if the Broncos didn't take him in that 7th round. Paxton Lynch is a 1st rounder who had potential, came from a smaller group of 5 school. And then it's basically Chad Kelly, who another 7th rounder, nobody wanted to touch him in 2017. And now Josh Allen, it looks like they're going right back for another potential 1st rounder from a non-power 5.
What I wonder about it for John Elway's sake, not that he reports to very many people.
No, he's a god in Denver.
Yeah, right. Does he learn from a mistake? Because I would say pretty much all those quarterback drafts are a mistake.
Yeah.
And it's not just hindsight. I didn't really like any of them when they happened. Do you go and do it again, number 5 overall, go out there and say, we're going to draft Josh Allen, a guy who a lot of people are saying is 2nd-round talent?
No, I don't. I texted this last night, and this was just a thought that I had or a tweet that I had last night.
Yeah.
And a couple of you out there responded to me. I was watching the Rose Bowl and watching Baker Mayfield and thought to myself, man, he would look good in a Bronco jersey. Or, not good, but man, I could see him in a Bronco jersey. And that's the thing where the Bronco pick, bringing this back to the Cardinals, because Cardinal fans are like, you're talking about the Broncos too much. They're the indicative pick, though. They are the one that control your destiny.
If it's not them, I do think it's the Jets.
If this plays out where, let's say, Darnold, Rosen 1-2, let's say Denver goes Josh Allen. Then in this situation, let's say the Jets pass on a quarterback and they go, you know what? We can take a Mason Rudolph.
We want
Lamar
Deshaun
Jackson.
Kaiser 2.0.
Yeah, basically. Like, their next pick will be 37th. So if they think, you know what, I don't really, like, if they're sitting there going, I don't want to take a stab at a quarterback in, like...
Or they got Kirk Cousins, you know, they already got it addressed, something
or
like
they
that.
got
they
something
could get
in free
Trevor
agency.
Siemian, or not Trevor Siemian, I'm sorry, Case Keenum.
I look at this and I go, well, ooh, I could see that. I could see the Jets overpaying for a Case Keenum or overpaying for a Sam Bradford.
Sure.
I could see that. But the team I look at, that if Josh Allen goes at 5 and the Jets don't take a quarterback, if I am the Cardinals, I am picking up the phone, I am calling John Lynch and saying, hey, John, what do you want for number 9?
10.
What do you want? What do you want? On Tankathon, they have 9 written down for the Niners.
Oh, they got to do the coin flip.
Yeah.
It's a coin flip.
So it'll be coin flip between them and the Raiders. Either or.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Oakland takes a quarterback anyways.
No.
I call them and I go, what do you want for 9? What do you want for 10? And that's who I trade with. That is my dance partner. Because John Lynch has already shown, you want a quarterback? I'll trade for you. Like, you want to take my pick? Like, he looks like a wheeler and a dealer. He moved with the Bears to move back. He then moved to jump the Saints to get Reuben Foster.
And this could be a situation where he's like, nope, got my quarterback. He needs this piece. And they might not do it. But the okay thing with that is you've got plenty of teams here. Dolphins aren't drafting a quarterback. Bengals won't. Redskins might.
And that's why. The Redskins are my team that I don't want to take that chance, especially what could happen with Kirk Cousins. The thing that hurt the Niners the most, and the only reason why, if they were at 8 and the Bears were at 9, then I would go along and say with you, yeah, I wouldn't move if I'm the Niners because I would take Calvin Ridley. I would go because I don't see Calvin Ridley going to the Jets, Bucks. However, the Bears could be like, let's get Mitch a weapon, Calvin Ridley.
For sure.
Then if I'm looking at that, I'm Niner fan. I'm Niner in the war room. If Arizona called, I could look at that and then go, well, you know what? At that point, let's see, number 9, we could go with a guy like I had McGlinchey off the board. Yeah, we can go with an offensive tackle at 9. Or we can trade with the Cardinals, see what we can get for them at 15, and we can go with an Orlando Brown, who was an unanimous All-American, who did a great job in the Rose Bowl blocking for Baker Mayfield. So it really becomes, and I'm using offensive tackle only because I'm assuming Calvin Ridley would be off the board for the Bears. If it's offensive tackle that you're looking for there as a Niner, then I would make the trade with the Cardinals because I could get an offensive tackle at 15, and I don't think there's a huge gap between McGlinchey and Orlando Brown.
Yeah, and that's all the draft is. It really comes down to what's the big surprise that happens,
and
who's the reach, who's
who do
the
you
fall.
like better.
Yeah, who is on your board, you know. So it's going to be hard to say, but for Arizona, I'm not trading above San Francisco.
No.
You know, there's no reason, because the good thing about San Francisco is they've got a lot of capital. They might want to acquire more. But the flip side of it is that you still can fall back on the Dolphins and the Bengals. You still have 2 teams you can fall back on to say, okay, didn't work with them because the 49ers really loved this guy that fell. All right, well, let's try and get these guys to give us a trade because neither one are division opponents for you or anything like that. You'll be kind of safe there. The hard thing with that is, and maybe this is the thing that someone in the comment section has already yelled at us for, we do have the Arizona Cardinals trading with the San Francisco 49ers right now. That might be off limits.
Opponents. Well,
they might just say, they might get the phone call and he just laughs as soon as they ask and hangs up.
It could work out like that. I didn't think about that. However, I think John Lynch is a guy to where it's like, if I can get picks out of you, really it's, you know what, screw it, take them. Because if I'm John Lynch, if I'm the Niners, fuck it, we're going 16-0. I'm winning the Super Bowl next year. My quarterback don't lose.
Yeah, but at the same time, you don't want to be in a situation where, like, if you really believe this quarterback and I think he's okay, I'm not letting you have him.
What you can use, though, for an asking price, around an asking price, because the Bills jumped up from, where were the Bills? They were the 27th pick last year, and they jumped up to 10. Mm-hmm. And all they had to give up or the Chiefs, pardon me. Chiefs were at 27. They gave up the 27th and the 91st. So a first and a third for the 10th. So if I'm the Cardinals right now, I would, even at 15, going from 15 to 9, if that's the price that someone got last year for 27 to 10, think about, I could do maybe
a first and a fourth,
a first and a fifth. Mm-hmm. And move up from 15 to 9. Yep. Or even less if it's, hey, you know what, I'm trading with Oakland, Miami, Cincinnati. Because I looked at that, because last year that's when we had the trades. And then obviously the Cleveland one was the one where Houston moved from virtually 25 to 12, and they just swapped picks. Well, they swapped picks, and then Houston got
Houston lost quite a bit.
Hey, we'll give you 2 firsts for your 1. We'll swap, and then we'll give you an extra first. That was
Houston's missing that first right now. They wish they had the first.
Only because Deshaun Watson got injured. Next year, Deshaun Watson will be fine, and it's like, okay, we gave up the right price. Because Deshaun Watson's the real deal. He would have won.
If he doesn't get hurt again.
He would have won Rookie of the Year if he didn't get hurt. Let's be honest.
Maybe.
He would have been the Rookie of the Year if he didn't get hurt. But with the Cardinals,
we'll never know.
Let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. If they don't trade, let's say you don't trade, look into your crystal ball, what's going on quarterbacks at 15. What do you think? Do you think Allen's on the board, Baker's on the board, none of them are on the board?
I think one of them will be on the board, most likely at 15.
Which one do you think, Allen?
I would lean towards Allen, because I don't really think he's that much of a first-round talent.
Would you take Allen at 15? If you're the Cardinals, or would you say, you know what, or do you look for a Mason Rudolph, a Lamar Jackson at 15?
No, because I'm not going to try and get an answer at quarterback later in the draft if I'm the Arizona Cardinals. They're too old of a team that is falling off now to be able to pull something like that off. I maybe am looking at our in the league, our NFL scouts and saying, all right, what quarterback somewhere do we like? Do we like A.J. McCarron? Is it possible that we could somehow get Sam Bradford, because maybe he didn't sign a deal yet or something like that?
Didn't McCarron almost get traded to Cleveland at the trade deadline?
Almost. Didn't quite work out.
It was Cleveland, right?
If I remember right, it was something, and I think both sides pointed fingers, but essentially was like Cleveland didn't do the paperwork or something like that.
But it was Cincinnati and Cleveland was the deal. Okay.
A.J. McCarron almost went to Cincy. Almost went to Cleveland. Maybe there's one of these guys. Maybe they're like, well, no, I'm not even going to try and make the joke about Mike Glennon. Maybe we'll give Chicago some stuff for Mike Glennon.
What about Josh McCown? He's going to be a free agent. I know, injured at the end of the year.
Sure, journeyman. Go for him. I'm just trying to think about if they're going to say, is there a guy who can
be a rental
with what we get and be a rental, but be a little better than a rental? Be a Case Keenum for the Minnesota Vikings.
Now, I'm gonna nip this in the bud, because this was in our group text also.
Yeah.
In our fantasy football league. The thing that people have to understand, I love Case Keenum. I'm glad he's my quarterback. I hope we win a Super Bowl with you. Go Trent Dilfer.
I hope we win a Super Bowl and then get the fuck off my team.
Just Case, all you got to do is fuel your inner Trent Dilfer, and we will win a Super Bowl behind this defense. That's the thing that people got to understand. This defense is really good. That Case Keenum didn't have to be amazing for us to win
I don't think
games.
Anybody thinks Case Keenum is amazing.
I just think that I have a feeling that he's going to get paid
me too.
Big bucks to be a starter, but then not have the team around him like he did in Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that would happen.
Was it
with the
Sean
Cardinals
or Dave who maybe said he wouldn't get Matt Flynn money?
Yeah.
I agree. I don't think he's getting Matt Flynn money necessarily, but he's going to get Mike Glennon money.
And I'm talking when I threw out the Matt Flynn thing, I was talking just the idea of it. I'm going to get a bigger contract here.
Yeah.
But then not have the pieces. I think that would happen in Arizona, because their defense isn't the same as the Vikings. Their run game, I mean, yeah, David Johnson got injured. You'll get him back. But then it's like the team is really, that was a big hurt too. If David Johnson, I don't think they're at 15. I think they're maybe a little less, which would really hurt them because then they'd have to trade up more.
And I think that Mike Glennon contract might have been bigger than Matt Flynn's.
The thing that was beautiful about the Mike Glennon contract was
you can get out.
You can get out after 1 year.
Yeah.
Which would be, I wouldn't mind if I'm Arizona.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that because, A, I get you for a year, do whatever you want. I get to draft who I want at 15. And I would entertain the idea of quarterback at 15. The one that I'm thinking about, and this is some people think that he has the potential to go number 1. I don't think that's true, but I like what he brings to the table. Former Heisman Lamar Jackson. I would seriously think about Lamar Jackson at 15, but probably not do it.
I wouldn't think about it.
Depends on what quarterback you want, but I love what he brings to the table. And if Allen and Mayfield and Rosen and Darnold were off the board, I would think about Lamar Jackson. Probably not do it because
there'd be way too many quarterbacks.
Well, not just that. Like, I love what he can do, but I would almost look like, am I reaching too far?
Yes.
For Lamar Jackson.
So, like I said, way too many quarterbacks in the first round. At that point, you're remembering like the Jake Locker year and stuff like that, and you're like, oh, okay, let's not do this.
Hey, if you think the quarterback is your guy,
yeah,
you go ahead.
But when everybody drafts a quarterback, the odds are you didn't get the right one.
When everyone drafts a quarterback, what are your final thoughts on this? What do you think the Cardinals should do? What do you think they will do?
Yeah, I think they would have to trade too high because I really think that Denver and New York, the football Jets, just to piss off the Giants fans, whichever one of them does not address their need in free agency of a quarterback is going to draft the third best quarterback. And Baker Mayfield is not that far off from Rosen and Darnold to where he, at 6 or 5, we're not laughing about that. It's something that's totally possible. It could happen. For Arizona to trade up, it's going to be worth too much. I don't think they should trade high enough to do it. If one of these guys falls, sure. But honestly, maybe I'm just not really that sold on Josh Allen. But if I'm Arizona, I'm going to sit there and see Josh Allen and go, I don't think this is the guy that's going to do it for us.
And I mean, looking at other needs the Cardinals have, it's either offensive tackle and wide receiver.
Yeah.
And my thought comes back to, you can take an offensive tackle, you can take a wide receiver. However, what's the point of doing that when you don't, like, let's say you get a Mike Glennon. Let's say either like you have a year where, remember when John Skelton was their starting quarterback for a while? What's the point of getting a wide receiver or getting an offensive tackle when they don't have anyone to block for or throw to them?
What's the point of having a quarterback if he doesn't have anyone blocking for him or throwing the ball to catch the ball?
Which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Exactly.
That's basically the debate. But this is where you guys come in. Let us know, what do you guys think? What should the Cardinals do? Should they trade up for Baker Mayfield? Should they trade up for a quarterback? Should they stay put? Should they trade back? One thing we didn't mention, but could be an option, trading back for the right team and then taking a quarterback later. Let us know what you guys think down below in the comment section.